Hi everybody, I hope you're safe and healthy out there. We're all trying. In this video, which is class 2/class 3, and again, this will help prepare us for next week, which I think we'll do another Zoom meeting again. We have chapter 3 of the Disler book, which I'd like to go through in this video. So this is kind of a bridge between class 2 and 3. I introduced the natural scale up the neck, the natural scale in first position in video 1 for this second class. Then we went through some of the musical symbols and we looked at all of the exercises as we jumped throughout the Hal Leonard book in the last video. In this video, we'll go through chapter 3 of Disler, which is the one I just recently sent out to the class. And it starts with the music staff. Again, the same ideas are given. It talks about the 5-line paper. It talks about, and Disler makes this point quite often, as the notes are placed higher on the staff, they're higher in sound. As they're placed lower on the staff, they're lower in sound. Notes successively higher on the staff are alphabetically in order. Notes successively lower on the staff are in a reversed alphabetical order. G, F, E, D, C, B. That is going down in sound. And then she reminds us on page 16 that the clef is also called a G clef. Treble clef, G clef, same thing, and it marks the note G on the middle of the staff, second line from the bottom. Middle is actually B, but one line below that is the G, and that is marked by that little cross in the symbol. She kind of shows in the book how the G clef actually is sort of a calligraphy G, and it's come down from that symbol and evolved that way. She asked us to fill in the blank on page 16 of what notes are actually on each string. So on the E string, just as a little review of page 25, we have E, F, and G. On the A string, we have A, B, and C. On the D string, we have D, E, and F. On the G string, we have G and A. And then on the B string, we have B, C, D, and the open E, F, and G on the first string. So there's a little fill in the blank there you can do, and it asks how many G's occur in this scale, and I mentioned that in class. There are 3. The low G is on the 6th string, 3rd fret. The middle G is the one we're actually calling the middle G, which is the open 3rd string, and then the 3rd fret is up on, the high G is up on the 3rd fret of the open E. And in the little box, remember I said watch these boxes, it says the G shown by the G clef represents the middle G, which is played on the open string, 3rd string open. And if you know where that note is at on the staff, you can find any other note, because remember, we do not skip a line or a space going up or down, and we do not skip a letter. So I can count from G on that line to A in the space, B on the line, C in the space, D on the line, E in the space. So if you know where that one note is at, middle G, second line from the bottom on the line, every good boy does fine. You can find any other note. If I give it to you on a test, you can find those other letter names. Hopefully, as you play them more and more, you'll start to recognize them more and more. I don't mind, again, you writing letter names in over your music, but eventually you're going to want to try to get away from that as you get more comfortable with the notation. So there's some rhythms here before I start the exercises. On page 17, she introduces basic rhythm reading. Now, again, you're going to have to look at the PDF while I play this. I'm going to have it off to the side. And I'm just playing the open G string here. Okay, the quarter notes, she has written quarter notes 4 in each measure, so we are to assume it's 4/4 time. She did not write a time signature here. She hasn't introduced that yet. So the first exercise would basically be this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next exercise is mixing half notes with quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'll repeat repeat that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Oh, I messed that up. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I looked away from the music and lost my spot there. That was number 2, and I played it twice so you can hear it correctly the first time. Then she introduces a new note on page 18. This shows us the dotted half note for the first time. So half note is worth 2. A dot always adds half of the value. Doesn't always add a beat, but since this note is worth 2 beats, if I add half of its value, I get a total of 3. Okay, it can get a little confusing when you're doing small values of notes and dotting them, but in this case it's not too difficult because it's just a 3-beat note. So now we have colored in black note, worth 1 beat. Empty note with a stem, worth 2 beats. Empty note with a stem and a dot, 3 beats. Dotted half note. And then from there we go to whole notes, which contain all 4 beats of the measure. So here's number 3, page 18, which shows the dotted half. Hopefully I'll play it correctly twice in a row this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, and then I counted to 4 too. This should be a 3-time signature. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the last one mixes all 3 rhythms. This is number 4. Number 4, whole note is the empty note with no stem. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point, I really want to point something out in the book here. On page 18, she talks about counting and the way to count. But she does reiterate, your voice is your best own teacher. Speak aloud one of the following when you play. Say the letter name of the note as you play. Say the fret numbers, which matches our fingers. I think that's a really good one too, because if you look at the note and you start to assimilate it with what fret and what string to play, that's a great way to get your reading going. And then the counting. And this I have to, again, make a bone of contention with Disler right here, because she is suggesting that we count each individual note. So, for example, if I was reading the last exercise, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm looking at each individual value there and counting its value. Not recommended. That is maybe a good way to start with kids, but I think what we want to do right from the beginning is count up to the number of beats in each measure so that you know what beat the note is played on. Okay, so if it's 4/4, count up to 4 over and over again. If it's 3/4, count up to 3 over and over again, and place the notes in the proper spot of the measure. So I'll count number 4 one more time, the wrong way, then the right way. This is number 4, page 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. So although I got the rhythm right, I still had no idea what beat I was in on the measure when I started to play a note. In this case, I'm going to count the correct way, and I'll know exactly where each note starts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for example, I knew that very last note started on beat 3. And this is the way musicians talk to each other too. They will say, you're playing the wrong note on beat 3, or let's start on the first beat of the measure, or the third beat of the measure if you're playing with somebody else, or make sure you're doing this chord or this note correctly on beat 3, and that kind of discussion. So I think what I'll do here is I'm going to stop this video, keep it at 10 minutes. Again, it's just more of an introduction to the Disler reading music and the approach. And then the next video will be a short video, and I'll read the exercises starting on page 19 in the Disler book, chapter 3. Stay safe.